Okay guys, welcome to another That Was the Year That Was, and this week we're up to 1982, can you believe? Yep, top 10 selling singles in the UK in 1982. In 10th place we had Ebony and Ivory by Paul McCartney and Stevie Wonder. Number 9 we had The Land of Make Believe by Bucks Fizz. Oh dear. Number 8 was Seven Tears by the Goombay Dance Band. Oh dear. Number 7 was Adamant with Goody Two Shoes. Number 6 we had Eddie Grant with I Don't Wanna Dance. Number 5 even was Culture Club with Do You Really Want to Hurt Me. Number 4, there was a rather enjoyable video. It was Tight Fit with The Lion Sleeps Tonight. Number 3 was Fame by Irene Cara. Number 2 was the classic Rocky title tune Survivor, Eye of the Tiger. And in number 1 place was Dexy's Midnight Runners with the Emerald Express. Don't know what that was about. With the rather dubious song title of Come On Eileen. I think I've seen that film. Anyway, yep, world news wise guys, let's see what was happening in the news in 1982. Yep, if you're a UK resident you would know this. Britain defeated Argentina in the Falklands War. That was on April the 2nd to June the 15th. Israel invaded Lebanon, just for a change. Princess Grace died in a car crash. In America, what did we have? Nothing to speak of there, really enough. Economics, no one interested in that. Sports, San Francisco beat Cincinnati in the Super Bowl. The St. Louis Cardinals beat Milwaukee Brewers in the World Series. Martina Navratilova beat Chris Evert at Wimbledon. And Jimmy Connors beat John McEnroe at the tennis in Wimbledon. Italy defeated West Germany 3-1 in the World Cup. Entertainment wise, Michael Jackson released his big selling Thriller album. John Belushi sadly died of a drug overdose. Cats opened in Broadway. E.T. was released. Yep. What else have we got here? Anything else? Science, blah blah blah. Nothing to worry about here. And death wise, yeah, well, John Belushi, Ingrid Bergman, Leonid Brezhnev, obviously I think he was the Russian Prime Minister, Grace Kelly and Satchel Paige, who I've never heard of. So yep, that is the news guys for 1982. Now let's see, there's obviously, as I've mentioned before, as we roll on into the years, there's going to be a lot more games coming out and it's going to be impossible to feature every single one. So I'm just going to be picking some not so much random, but trying to pick some iconic titles. This first one is Alpine Ski, released by Taito. Let's see, how do we actually start this game? Okay, right, I had to restart it there because I just plugged the joystick in. So this is Alpine Ski. Now you may or may not notice from the sort of clarity of this particular video that I'm actually using, I've managed to, well I'm using, what do you call it? I'm running MAME in my PC and using the sort of screen capture software, which makes it a lot quicker to kind of post-process. Bollocks. So if there's any wee hiccups with sort of frame rate, that's just one of the unfortunate things guys. Now I can honestly say I never ever saw this game in arcades. I mean, I didn't have any big exposure to arcades, I must admit. I certainly never saw it, and I don't recall any ports of this game being released. I think it may have been released in some sort of like Xbox PS2 collection, but I certainly don't recall this ever being released for any home system. There was obviously multiple sort of skiing type games on home computers. It was one of probably the most popular. What the hell's going on there? Yeah, it was one of the most popular sort of probably genres of games in the early days, but like I said, I don't think there was ever an official license. Deary me, I'm absolutely pants. Now I'm guessing, because we're not going to actually get to see it, I'm guessing that this game is all about time. Hey! And if you get to the bottom, which I'm not going to do because I keep missing every single gate, known to man. Is that a snowplow or something, I'm guessing? Ah, bollocks. Knew that was going to happen. Okay, that is Alpine Ski by Tato. Okay, this is the mighty pole position by Atari. What's not to like about this game? It's damn difficult. It was probably the first most jaw-dropping driving game to come out. Everything else before this was pretty much 2D, kind of little sprite-based looking down type things. And this game appeared sort of 3D graphics, super realism with steering wheel control, and it was an amazing game, if not a bit difficult. But yeah, this was ported to, I think it was officially ported by Atari to virtually home conversions. In fact, I'm sure, if I remember rightly, I did do an Arcade Perfect my arse on this. I think that might have been the first one I ever done. So yeah, that's it guys, we don't have to really dwell too much more on this one. If you want to play this properly, you can go and grab it for one of the sort of PlayStation 2 Xboxes. It's been released on multiple compilations over the years, including Game Boy Advance and that as well. So yep, that's it guys, this is Pole Position. Okay, this is Time Pilot by Konami. This is a great game. This has been ported to pretty much every platform known to man, and it features in a lot of compilations as well. It's such a eminently playable game, it really is. It actually looks harder than it is, which I'm obviously going to speak before I'm going to put my foot in my mouth and probably crash just after I've said that. But I love this game. It's a great wee game. And again, this was ported to pretty much every platform ever. I think all of them were unofficial ports, it has to be said, but it's such a simplistic game that all the versions I remember playing on the C64 were really good. The idea of the game being well, you're a time pilot. Yep. The step for a hint is in the title of the game. And yeah, you start off in, I don't know when this is, 1914 or something, and you've basically got to destroy X number of enemies before you get the baddie like so, which you destroy, and you go through a time warp like so, and you appear more up to date. So we're now in 1940. So we've got kind of Spitfires, I think this is. Ah, bollocks! I saw that coming, and I just... Yeah, talking of conversions, I've even got this on the Vectrex of all machines, and I've got to say it's an absolute cracking version. You pick up the wee parachuters for points. But it's a lovely little game. I'd be very surprised if anybody here hasn't actually played the game. If you haven't played it, then go check it out. It's available in a lot of these compilations. Any Konami sort of compilation, you can guarantee this game will be on it. It's a superb little game. Anyway, listen, I'm getting carried away. It's such a great game that I could keep playing this one. Anyway, yeah, listen guys, that is Time Pilot, and that is by Konami. Okay, this is Bubbles by Williams Electronics. Now this is a completely odd sort of game compared to Williams' other games that came out. Obviously, the classic games being Defender, Robotron, Stargate. So yeah, this seemed very, very odd, an odd choice of game. Now again, it's not a game I've ever seen in arcades. I mean, visually it kind of looks like something you could get on your computer. So if I had seen this back in the day, I don't think I would have probably played it. And I can't say I'm all that familiar with the game. So let's give it a wee shot anyway. Now the idea being is you control this bubble, this blue thing, which you can see it's got eyes. Now what you've got to try and do is stop all this sort of crap going down the plug hole by basically drowning them. So you can see there, you've got to drown all the bugs, and you move on to the next sink, like so. Now you've got these, are they brushes, I think? That's what they look like. I'm really not sure what they are. I can now kill these things. Yeah, you've got these bollocks. I'm just wondering, can I push these bad things down the plug hole? Yeah, I certainly can. So what I want to try and do, yeah, you've got to try and drown all the little bugs, avoid the what look like little brushes. You'll see there's a rather nasty looking razor blade which you have to avoid, because that will basically burst your bubble, so to speak. And yet every now and again you get this little, I don't know what it is, it looks like a witch in a broom or something. Is that it? Let's go for another wee shot. Now I think this game utilised a trackball, I'm guessing. Excuse me, it would have been a trackball. Now I'm using obviously a 360 controller, so it's a wee bit floaty, you know, it's not the easiest thing to control. Now I think you've got to also avoid, yep, these big spidery type things, because they'll kill you, they'll burst your bubble. But yeah, when you pick up the broom thing, that allows you to then kill the baddies, like so. Bollocks. Like I said, it's a very, very odd game. And again, I'm not aware of, can I kill that bug now, I wonder? Yeah, I can. I think because I've grown to a certain size I can now kill it. Why is that? I don't know. Yeah, I'm not aware of any this ever been converted to anything. It may have come out in Atari 2600, but I don't recall seeing it on any home system. It may have been ported, it may have had not illegal, non-authorised ports, I don't know. But anyway guys, that is Bubbles, and that's by Williams. Okay then, this is Sinister. Now, I should have actually started it. There we go, Sinister. Now, I think this was made again by Williams. There we go, Williams 1982. Now, again, this isn't a game I've really had much exposure to. I don't think it was ever ported to any home systems. Possibly the Atari 2600, I'm really not too sure. What really makes this game, sets it apart, is the speech. Apparently there's a baddie who's trying to build, I think they're trying to build the Sinister, whatever he's called, I'm not too sure. They're trying to build this thing, and you've got to try and prevent these guys from building Sinister. I think you've got to destroy the asteroids and you pick up bombs or something. I'm really not too sure. But yeah, this main baddie guy, oof, can he taunt you? You can see there it's starting to get built. It's an incredibly sort of twitchy little game. I mean, it may be better using a proper joystick.
Where I live, I hunger, coward.
Apologies again about the sound quality. It's really not the best.
Run, coward. Run, run, run. I hunger, coward.
There he is. There's a bad boy. Jesus.
Where I live, I hunger.
Never mind Resident Evil for your first terrifying game. This is going to be right up there. There he be. Fantastic. That is Sinister, and it's quite rightly named as well. Sinister by Williams. Go check it out, guys. Right then, this is Zaxxon by Sega. Now this was quite an extraordinary looking game for 1982. You know, when you consider some of the games we've looked at so far, some of them were downright awful looking. This game really was an amazing looking game. I mean, even now it looks really, really nice. It's super difficult because of the sort of the forced kind of 3D, pseudo 3D. It is difficult. I've never managed to get very far in the game at all. This game was there was various ports came out on the home computer versions on the home computers. I think there was also an official port by Sega. I'm sure I had that on the Commodore 64. But it's an excellent game. It really is. I'm not quite sure how you can determine when you're in line with an enemy plane, or whether it's just basically aim and hope for the best. Yeah, this game just looked to dog's bollocks. It really did. Looking at this in the magazines back then. I've not been one for speaking too soon. I'm actually doing way better at this game than I ever did previously. And he says that and he dies. Classic game though, guys. That is Zaxxon, and that's by Sega. Right, this is Tutankhamun by Konami. Now, I've never seen the game. This is certainly regarded as one of the classic arcade games from back in the day. I know this game is it's one that's I have no idea what's happening here. It's a game that's frequently gets people frequently try and beat the high score in it. Right, you know what? I don't even know what's happening here. Why is it when I fire, I seem to fire opposite direction? Right, okay. It appears. Oof. Right, okay. I'm sure if I probably tweak the controls slightly. Right, it seems to me that you've got an infinite number of these things chasing me. Yeah. It's not a game I ever remember. Can I destroy that? Right, I'm guessing I've got to go and try and get the key. Let's just try and make a run for it. Whoa, that was close. There's the key. Right, anyway, listen, I've probably had enough of that game. That is Tutankhamun. It is supposedly a very, very good game. It's just that I'm obviously complete pants at it. Okay, this is Moon Patrol by Irem Corp, who went on to release R-Type. Now again, this was a very, very popular game for home ports. There was numerous unofficial ports on probably all the main computers. Probably a lot using the word buggy in the name. It's quite a kind of basic game. I was never really a fan of it. I mean, I did have a version on the C64, and it never really floated my boat at all. Let's go for another quick go. Obviously you've got to try and bugger off. You've got to try and avoid the potholes, as well as taking out the UFO things. Oh, come on, how do you avoid that? I don't know. Yeah, when you press the fire button, it obviously fires horizontally and vertically to take out the wee UFO things. It's actually quite a tough little game. I mean, it's very simplistic. Yeah, I suppose it is regarded as one of the classics, but it's not a big favourite of me, I must admit. But anyway, guys, that's Moon Patrol. Okay, this is the iconic Qbert. Now, I know we see that about a lot of games, but this is indeed an iconic game. It's not a particularly favourite game of mine. It's bloody difficult. It was made by, is it Gottlieb? I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. It's the only game that I've heard that actually has swearing in it, albeit it's kind of muffled out. The one interesting thing about this game, it was the world record up to just a few years ago was actually held by a lady called Doris Self. She came from America, and what makes it quite an interesting tale is the fact that Doris was about in her 80s. Yep, 80, I think it was 80s, either 70s or 80s, but she was an old lady when she held the world record for this game. It's ridiculously difficult. I'm guessing again it might be a wee bit easier using actual arcade controls, because if you push it in the wrong direction, you just jump off the whatever it's called, it's not a maze, you jump off the level. A lot of people may recognise the character from the Pixar film Wreck-It Ralph. Was it Pixar? Or was it Disney? I can't remember. In fact, what am I talking about? Disney owned Pixar. Yeah, Wreck-It Ralph, Qbert, and is it Slinky the Snake? They all famously appeared. They all famously appeared in that film. And again, this was this was a game that it was released. There was absolutely tons and tons of unofficial versions for the home computers. Anyway, listen, that's enough of that. That is Qbert. Now this game, guys, as you may have briefly saw there with the little light cycles, is Tron, written, obviously copyright Disney, and it was written by Midway. Now, I've got to say, this is a game I've never ever even seen. I think I've watched a video of it getting played, never actually played the game. I've no idea how it's going to actually play using this joystick. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing. Try to enter the MCP cone? Right, okay, so it's like, can he break out? Now this game is certainly regarded as a bit of a cult classic. Personally, I think it looks pretty awful, but I know a lot of people would probably absolutely hang out to dry for making such a statement. It's certainly a game that's it's looked upon as a real cult classic game. I think it's got multiple levels, completely different levels. Ah, bollocks. Yeah, when I saw this I thought I need to feature this game, even though I've never had any exposure to it, and I can't say it's a game I think is particularly good, but like I say, it's probably using the proper hardware. Hey, come on, why does that not want to go up? Yeah, if you want to see this game getting played properly, you're probably better going to another YouTube video and watching that, but I thought I'd better include it. That's Tron Guys by Midway. Okay, this is Swimmer by Tekken, who I think also made Tekken World Cup. Amongst other games, also made Bomb Jack. In fact, that's probably the most famous game that Tekken ever made. Now, this game I never remember seeing it in arcades, and I don't think it was ported to anything. Now, the idea of the game, I understand, is just to kind of swim upriver and avoid all the baddies, and obviously you need to pick up strawberries as well. That goes without saying. Yep, or cherries indeed. Now, pressing the fire button makes you kind of duck under, so you can duck under logs and what have you, or else you render yourself unconscious like so. Ah, right, okay, I'm looking at the right hand side there, so yep, you've got to pick up X number of bits of fruit. Yep, so I'm looking for balls. Yeah, you can see at the right hand side it's telling you how many bits of fruit you need to pick up. Quite a fun little game actually. Oops, a daisy. Quite an original actually. Chance for extra. Sorry, no extra. Let's go for one more quick go. One more life. Why the hell not? This was certainly the 1980s was a decade of original ideas. Anything went basically. You know, you just wouldn't get a game called Swimmer this simplistic nowadays. But yeah, back then it was a hotbed of anything went at all. And obviously there were some fantastic games, but there was also plenty of dross as well. Now, I managed to miss a piece of fruit there, I don't know what's going to happen. Anyway guys, listen, this is Swimmer, and this is by Tekken. Okay, this is Puyan by Konami. And it's one of these sickly, cute little games where you've got to rescue kittens or something, or stop them getting attacked by evil foxes. Now, I'm guessing you play the part of the mum or something, and you've got to try and pop the balloons which are carrying the foxes or coyotes, whatever they're called, down to the bottom of the screen, where they will then climb up the ladder and proceed to murder your children. Quite a simple sort of game, you know, you're moving up and down fire, and it's almost like a Space Invaders type game turned on its side, rotated sort of 90 degrees. It's actually quite a fun little game. For a simple game, it's quite a bit of fun. And needless to say, I think some of the balloons later on take 2 arrows to sort of pop them, and you'll see there they're also throwing, I don't know what it is, rocks or something at you, trying to take you off that ladder. Again, I remember playing this on my Commodore 64. It wasn't called Pooyan, it was called something else. But it seemed that back in 1982, there was absolutely no worry about getting sued for breaching copyright or anything. You know, a company would come out with a good idea, and companies would just rip them off and not get any action taken against it. Obviously, the video games companies started to latch on to the fact that there was these other companies making a shitload of money using their ideas, so that obviously changed. But yeah, back in 1982, it seemed to be a complete free-for-all. So anyway guys, that is Pooyan. Okay, this is Popeye by Nintendo. It's kind of bizarre to think that Nintendo actually made arcade games. Now, how does one start this game? Okay, put a credit in. What's happening? Alright, okay. Graphics are quite nice for this game. Now, I think the idea being is you've got to oh, bugger it. Yeah, you've got to catch the little hearts that olive oil throws from the top of the screen, avoiding, is it Bluto? I think it is Bluto, isn't it? Oh, piss off. Graphics are actually really nice. Really well detailed. Now again, using this stupid controller that I've got, it's not the easiest game in the world to play. Right, let's go for one quick go, because I hardly even scratched the surface of the game. Can I punch him? No, I can't appear to. Now, if I remember rightly, I think you've got to pick up, there's yeah, you can see there's spinach. Now, how do I get the spinach? Come on. Right, now I can chase him, and you'll see there, Bluto runs away from you. But I think he does come back again. Right, so all you need to do is... Whoa, 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 whoa. Never going to avoid that. Yeah, I think you can punch the thing at the sort of the punch bag thing at the far right, and I think that knocks. Now, I'm sure he can put his hand down like so. There we go. What happened there? Oh, that was that witch thing. Yeah, bit of a mishmash of a game. Was never keen on it. It was released in various incarnations again on 8-bit. This is Popeye by Nintendo. Okay, this is Pengo, another well-known game. This was released by Sega again. Yes, this was obviously before Sega started to kind of concentrate on driving games. What is that supposed to happen? Is he supposed to be bouncing the N up and down? I'm guessing so. What I always find interesting about early computer games, video games, not even just home conversions but arcade games, is there was a lot of use of classical music, probably because it was no longer in copyright and they could use it without paying any fees at all. Now, I haven't a clue how to play this game. I know it somehow involves pushing blocks or something. It's not a game I've ever played. Oops, what happened there? Alright, I got attacked. Again, it was a game that I saw there was tons and tons of conversions of this. Whether or not it had an official release, on sort of home systems. I'm really not too sure. Oh, it's horrible, that noise. Whoa! Damn it. Let's go for one more quick go. But again, it was one of these games that, you know, compared to even home computers, it wasn't exactly what you would call standout when it came to graphics or anything. So, you know, if you had, you know, some money to play arcade games, it was highly unlikely that you were going to want to play this when you could play something that looked amazing, something you couldn't play on your home computer. Right, I don't know what to do here. Yeah, anyway, listen, that's enough of that one, guys. That is a Pengo, and that was released by Sega. Okay, guys, just to show that companies ripping off other companies was alive and kicking, even in the arcade industry. This is Logger by Century Electronics. Now, I noticed just before I started there was a rather strange noise. Are we going to hear it? Nope, it appears not. Anyway, let's batter on with Logger. I can't think what kind of game this is going to be. Pardon? Right, okay, a bird's nicked his sandwich. Oh, dearie me. If this isn't the most shameful rip-off of Donkey Kong that I've ever seen, I would like to know what is worse. Now, I don't know if this is plain shite because... Is that a hammer or something? Because it's running quite jerkily. I don't know. Come on, get up the bloody ladder. Dear me. I'm really surprised to see this game. You know what? Back in the day, then it was a free for all. It just took one company to come up with a good idea, and other companies would jump on it like nothing on earth and bring out their own versions, and probably avoid paying any license fees or whatever. But this is an arcade game released by, Century Electronics, is that what they're called? Or a fairly respected company. I wonder what Nintendo had to say about that. You could have at least tried to hide the game. They've just ripped off every single level. This is absolutely dire. Now, I don't quite know what's going on with the sound. Whoops. Right, anyway, I think that's enough. That is the wonderful Logger by Century. Okay, this is Mr. Do. Now, I can't remember offhand who actually makes this game. Do you want to tell us? Maybe not. Universal. I was going to say it's a well-known company. I can't say. I've seen them appear, obviously, in a lot of games in this sort of feature. Yep, Mr. Do. The sequel being Mr. Do's Castle. It's kind of looks similar to Dig Dug, as far as you've got to you've got to you go through the earth, in this case unearthing cherries. It's kind of been described as Pac-Man meets Dig Dug. Now, the difference with this game is, well, you've got the little things that you can kind of knock on people's heads, like so. But you've also got a bullet thing that you can fire. There's a nice bit of cake. Now, can I kill them? Cannonballs. Is that game over? Ah, right, okay, so you finish the level. Ah, you can see there the level says number 2. Never really noticed that before. Again, it's a game that I've not really played all that much. Ah! Whoa, 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 whoa! This isn't going to end well. No, it's not. One quick little go again. I mean, this is certainly looked at as a classic game. Again, it's one of these games that the simplicity belies just sort of how much there is in the game. So yeah, you appear to move on to the next level once you kill all the baddies, or is it once you kill all the? Or is it once you've eaten all the cherries as well? I'm not too sure. Eat the cake. Right, now I'm not quite sure why that changes colour. I thought you could maybe eat the baddies, but it doesn't appear you can. Anyway, listen guys, this is Mr. Do. Right then, this is Millipede by Atari. This was the sequel to Centipede, I believe. Okay, apologies about that guys. Go and take a phone call. Right, now, what's going on here? Starting score. Right, now this is, I'm using an Xbox 360 controller, as I keep probably telling you all the time. So it's not the best. It's certainly not the best controller to use. This would be a trackball, yeah. It's very, very similar to Centipede. I mean, I'm not quite sure what the differences are. You've got spiders, you've got your, well, instead of centipedes it's millipedes. I'm not quite sure what the difference is. I think this was released officially by Atari again. I'm sure it was released, I'm sure it was out for the Atari VCS, and I'm sure there may have been official Atari ports on home computers as well. But anyway, listen, that's enough. We know what this game's all about. This is a Millipede. Okay, this is Donkey Kong Jr., released by Nintendo, oddly enough. Ugh, it sounds a wee bit wonky in that with this screen capture software. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You get the gist, don't you? Now, I've got to say, guys, I consider absolutely love Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong's one of my favourite games. I can count on one hand the number of games. Bollocks! The number of games I've actually had of this game. It's just been a game that's I've never really had any inclination to play it. Obviously, graphically, it's a far nicer looking game than the original Donkey Kong. Oops! Ah, come on. Right, I think we can have another wee go at this one. I don't think this game ever got an official release on any home computer. I believe it got a release on probably the NES. You appear to go faster when you're... Whoops. Right, am I right in thinking? Ah, come on. I'm guessing I need to try and get across and then get up the rope and get the key and release. Is it my dad? Is this Donkey Kong's son? Ah, I'm guessing it will be. There's a clue in the name, Donkey Kong Jr. Ah, what's going on? Why can't I jump? Ah, is the gap too big, possibly? Right, okay. I reckon I owe it to myself to actually give this game a proper shot. I mean, it's from a good heritage after all. Right, so I'm guessing. Wow, it's fiendishly difficult. Like it's Dad, obviously. Yeah, that is Donkey Kong Jr., guys, and that is by Nintendo. Okay, here we go. This is Dig Dug by Namco, another fondly remembered classic game of the time. And I do apologise about the sketchy sound, guys. It's not the greatest. Now this game was ported officially by Atari, I believe. I remember playing the official version on the Commodore 64. Now, when I first started playing this game many years ago, I thought it's a very, very basic game. You know, you could try and blow up the baddies and sort of that's it. But it's actually quite an in-depth game. Like a lot of these classic arcade games, the more you play them, you realise there's sort of a lot of tips and tactics you can kind of use. I mean, the best way to get a decent score at this game is to try and lure the baddies underneath a rock, like so, which then flattens them. But what you really want to do for maximum points is to try and get them all to follow you. Let's have a blast. I'll probably not do too well at this because I'm pants, plus I'm using a rubbish controller. So yeah, what you want to try and do now, I need to be very careful because he's going to fry my backside if I'm not careful. Now I don't think he can fire flames up the way. Now if I get that rock like so, and wait, hey, you can see that I've managed to kill two baddies. Great stuff. Anyway guys, listen, that is Dig Dug and that is by Namco. Right, this is Buck Rogers by Sega in 1982. Is it just called? No, it's called Buck Rogers Planet of Zoom, to give it its proper title. Now this is quite an iconic game. It was ported to some home systems, Commodore 64, Atari, possibly the Spectrum as well. It may have been too early for the Amstrad. 1982 was fairly early. I can remember seeing pictures of this game, and I think it was CNVG. Blimey, it's just a bit hard. And it's actually made a very sort of, it's a kind of early attempt at 3D. And to be fair, it's actually quite nice. Never played the arcade one in my life. Never saw it. Get it off auto fire. So it looks like a fairly simplistic shooting game with some nice graphics. It's almost like a precursor to Space Harrier. Obviously the graphics are nowhere near as advanced as Space Harriers, but it's got that sort of feel to it. I mean, it is, its basic essence, quite a simple shooter, but yeah, the graphics for an early game are actually quite nice. Let's go for one more go. should be a bowling ball. Sound effect. Time limit at the top, that's to try and last the length of time. Right, anyway guys, that is Buck Rogers. That's actually quite a nice game. Buck Rogers, Planet of Zoom, and that was by Sega. Okay guys, this is Jungle King. Excuse me. Now, I think, is it Tato made this? I'm not entirely sure. Well, it's going to be the only video game ever to feature a sample of Johnny Weissmuller, who was Tarzan. Oof. Now this, I can't say I ever saw this game in arcades. I mean, back in 1982, there were far better games, looking games, even on computers. So really this is... there was really nothing in this game that the sort of home computers couldn't do, I think. And that's possibly why I don't recall ever seeing any conversions of this game. Ah, bollocks. Yeah, it's... well, that has got to be probably the best bit about the game. Now, you don't appear to be able to move down the ladder, you don't appear to be able to move down the rope at all to kind of get a better swing, so you just got to really... try and time it right. Something I'm not very good at. Arse. Right, let's go for one more go. Hey, here we go. Right now, I've no idea what I need to do here. Yeah, this is kind of very reminiscent of Pitfall. Whoa! As far as you got to jump on ropes. What the hell's that? Ah, damn it. Right, anyway guys, yep, that is Tato. Yeah, I was right. That is Jungle King by Tato. Okay, this one will be instantly recognisable to anybody. This is Burger Time by Data East. This is a difficult game. It's one of my... I really like the game. I'm no good at it at all. I love the whole premise of the game. The fact that you're little sort of burgers and that, hot dogs and fried eggs chasing you. I just think it's a fantastic little game, but it's damn difficult. Now this game, I don't recall if any home computer had an official version, but this was one of these games. It was there was multiple unofficial versions came out. I mean, I think I even had, I'm sure there was a Burger Time on the Commodore 64, but it wasn't an official release. There's a wee bit skipping with the sound. I do apologise about that, guys, but I hope you don't mind. I hope you can bear with me with that. It's just it's a lot easier using the computer to make these videos than actually recording the MAME cab. Come on. I think I've only ever managed to get to the third screen. The third screen is just really difficult. Come on. This game, I'm guessing you really need a proper joystick. Oh, no. It's just... if you're not lined up exactly... if you're not lined up exactly on a level, whatever, you can't actually walk, sort of thing. So yeah, this would be a lot easier. Or far less difficult, I should say, if you're using a proper joystick. Ah, bollocks. Excellent game though. Yep, there we go. Oh, I've still got a life to go. May as well finish my game. Oh dear. Are they going to die? No, they don't die, do they? They just kind of stop, I think. Oh. And what you want to try and do is lure them to their death, but that's easier said than done, I'm afraid. Oh. Let's see if I can... Oh, he's going to come down there. Bollocks! Great stuff. Anyway guys, that is Burger Time by Data East. Right, this little number is Burning Rubber by is it Data East, I think, again, is it? I think it is. I could be talking rubbish. Is it going to tell me? Anyway, it doesn't matter, let's batter on. Now listen guys, I'm conscious of the number of games that I want to include in this feature. Like I said, the further on we go, the more sort of up to date we get. There was more games getting released, and yeah, I want to try and feature as many as I possibly can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to restrict it from even one game. I'm probably going to just look at it for about a minute each. I would much rather feature 20 games than 10, you know, and play them for longer, sort of thing. So yeah, this is Burning Rubber. Again, I don't recall ever seeing a home conversion of this, an official home conversion. But I do remember there was multiple. This is one of these games again that there was tons and tons of different versions, unofficial ones. Was it Bumping Buggies, I think it was, on the Commodore 64, if I'm not mistaken. So the idea, basically, you've got to try and... do you get any points for being first? I don't think there's any position as such. The idea is just to really try and push other cars into walls and jump. Pressing the fire button makes your thing jump. You've got to try and flatten them. So anyway guys, listen, I'm going to batter on. That is Burning Rubber, and I think it's by Data East, although I might be talking pish. Let's move on. Right, this is Joust by Williams once again. Now, similar to Bubbles, which we looked at earlier on, it's quite a departure from the normal sort of Williams games. Now, I've played this fair bit. I'm sure I did have this. It was released by Atari on the C64. It's a game that's really, really fondly remembered by many, many people. I can't say I'm a big fan of it. It's possibly down to the fact that I think you may have to actually play it on a proper cab. Now, it's running pretty much like a dog here. It's not running as smoothly as it should be. The idea basically is to try and joust the other players who are also riding ostriches. I can't even pronounce it. Ostriches. Now, to successfully demount them, whoever misses, you need to be slightly higher up than them when you actually make contact with them. And to get velocity, you press the flap button, or in the case of this, you press the A button. But it was one of probably the first games to have co-op mode. You could have two people playing at the same time, which was an amazing thing. I mean, like I said, I've actually got a mate who's got a Joust arcade cab, and he loves it. He says it's his favourite arcade game. Oh, bollocks. It's not a game I'm a massive fan of, but it's certainly regarded as one of the classic early video games. So yeah, this is Joust, guys, and this was I believe this was programmed by the utter genius that is Eugene Jarvis. Let's move on. Okay, this game needs no introduction. This is Robotron 2084, released by Williams, created by the utter genius that was Eugene Jarvis. As anybody that follows my channel knows, that this is my favourite video game of all time. I'm not very good at it, but it's an incredible game. It's the purest form of game you could get. One stick controls movement, the other stick controls firing. There's nothing else in between. It's just you against the machine. So anyway, let's batter on, see if we can get this thing to work. Now I'm guessing it's probably going to slow up something terrible because I'm recording using this software stuff. This game really needs the twin sticks. I mean, I'm using the twin sort of analog sticks on the 360 controller, but it really needs proper joystick control. Oops. To do it justice, but when you get proper controls, it's hard to beat. It really is. This game is certainly regarded as the best video game by an awful lot of video game people. There's just nothing you can fault with the game. It says it's gaming in its purest form. It really is. Ah, bollocks. Yeah, it's a stunning game. And if it's a game you've never played, then please do make a point of playing it. Because if you don't, you're missing out on, in my opinion, the best video game ever written, bar none. Now you can still get a really good game using twin sticks like I'm doing here, but just you don't have the same level of control that you would get using proper joysticks. The idea is you've got to try and collect the family. All these baddies are basically intent on wiping out the human race, so you need to try and rescue the family and take care of all the evil minions. Anyway guys, that is Robotron 2084. If you've not played it, go and play it right now. Okay then, this game is Nibbler. Now, I haven't a clue who released it, but it's going to tell me it is by Rockola, MFG Corporation, who I've never heard of. I've heard of Rockola, I think they made some of the earlier games. Anyway, this is going to be the last game in this particular episode. So how does one start the game? Okay, here we go. I've got to say, I have never ever played this game. In fact, I've never even seen the game, far less play it before. It looks a bit like Pac-Man meets the Nokia. What was the name of that phone? 3220 Snake game. Now obviously you need to try and figure out how you can eat all these things without getting killed. Oh, blimey, it's getting a lot quicker. Oh! That's actually quite addictive, that little game. Oh my goodness, it certainly goes quick for only one level in, 2 levels in. Oh, bollocks. Whee! Now, again, I'm using obviously the screen capture software to record this. I'm not quite sure whether the music is playing as it should. But I've got to say, it's actually quite a fun little game. Right, so... Ah! Balls! Game over, is it? Oh no, it's not. Now, I never ever, other than the Nokia 3310 version of Snake, I can't recall ever seen a conversion of this game on any system at all. Ah, come on, that was stupid. Anyway guys, listen, that is Nibbler by Rockola. So that is the end of this feature. This is, that was year, that was 1981? 1982, I beg your pardon. Yep, I hope you enjoyed watching it guys. Please feel free to leave any comments. Please like it if you enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos by myself and you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. And all that leaves for me now guys is to say thank you very much for watching.